Hello guys, my name is Tom Antos, and in this video I'm going to compare two different wireless lavalier microphone systems. And what's cool about these systems is that they're dual microphone systems with one receiver. So the two systems I have are from Saramonic, is the first company, and then from Comica. Both of these systems provide the same functionality, meaning that the kits for each one of these come with two wireless transmitters and two lavalier microphones, and also a single receiver that will actually receive both of the different signals, and you can either merge it to one stereo file, so you have the same audio on both the left and right channel, or you can have the two separate tracks recorded, on the one on the left track and then the other on the right track. And this is kind of great when, let's say, you want to do your typical kind of interview setup, and you're, let's say, shooting on a simple DSLR, DSLM type of camera without any mixer boards or anything like that. So you just want to be able to get two different lavalier microphones into a camera that has a standard one basically connection for a microphone, and this thing will allow you to do that without connecting any mixers or any of these kind of other do-it-yourself kind of a little bit more, maybe more primitive looking setups like the one that I did in my previous video using this little adapter cable. Also, it's gonna be cheaper than buying, let's say, a single lavalier microphone system, and then let's say buying another separate one simply because you want to have two microphones on two different people. And that's kind of the cool thing about both of these systems, is that they're like I said, allow you to connect two microphones with just one receiver. So both of these systems are very well built, I'll tell you that right away. They have nice full metal bodies enclosed. They're about the same in size. I would say that the Saramonic is maybe a little bit heavier, and you can't really tell if you're just looking at the, like, just see just the thickness of these. For example, this is the Saramonic receiver, and this is the Comica receiver, and they're very similar. Maybe if anything, the Saramonic is a little bit thicker, but definitely it's a lot heavier than the Comica ones. That's the same for both the transmitters and the receivers up here. The Saramonic ones are a little bit heavier. So first, maybe before I kind of get into all the little gritty details about and the differences between the two different systems, I think the most important is just to see how they actually sound and what kind of range they offer. So let's go outside and let me do a kind of a quick comparison test between the two systems. Anyways, I've got the two microphones here, the two systems, and the two mics kind of taped to my chest. It's very windy, so it might actually be a good test for, I guess, to see how the lavs do in the wind. Although normally if I was recording with lavs in wind that strong, I would put on the little dead mouse, little furry things you put on there, because just the foam cover, it usually doesn't help that much. And anyways, I'm going to be heading back and let you guys see how this microphone sounds. So this is around 30 feet away on the Saramonic microphone system. This is how it sounds. Anyways, I'm going to go further now. This is around almost like 100 feet. So this is how it sounds on the Saramonic, 100 feet away. So this is around 180 feet according to Google Maps. So 180 feet away, this is how it sounds. Now I'm going to go maybe up that little hill there, up the trees. And here I'm turned backwards, so there's some obstacles. So I guess the signal has to go through my body. But this is a distance of 205 feet exactly to this fence that I'm standing at. So 205 feet, this is how it sounds. Now it's open line of sight. There is some Wi-Fi signals, obviously. Both my house has multiple Wi-Fi signals, plus the houses around. Plus I have a cell phone in my pocket, so we'll see if that creates any problems. Anyways, now I'm gonna go even further away. This is at around 250 feet. I reach the next street. So I'm at 400 feet away and behind two houses and some trees. And this is how it sounds on the Saramonic. I'm going to be heading back. Okay, I'm 300 feet away behind a house and some trees. This is how it sounds on the Saramonic microphone system, and my mouth is freezing because of the damn freaking wind. Whew. This weather definitely wakes you up. Okay, now I'm around 200 feet away. All right, heading back. This is back at around 100 feet. And anyways, this was the long-range test of the Saramonic wireless, dual wireless video microphone audio whatever system. You guys know what I mean. All right, and now this is on the Comica microphone system. So this is how it sounds. Again, I have, just like before, I have them here hooked up to my chest, both of the mics. So anyways, again, I'll walk back and see how it sounds. So this is around 30 feet away. This is how it sounds at 30 feet away. This is on the Comica microphone system. And I just have the little foam microphones on it. So the wind, we'll see how it impacts the microphones. All right, this is on the Comica microphone system. This is around 100 feet away. And this is how it sounds. So I'm gonna go walk even further now. All right, and this is 180 feet away on the Comica microphone system. This is how it sounds. Now I'm gonna go up the hill again, up to the fence, and hopefully I don't slip and fall face first there into the snow. So now I am exactly 205 feet away, open line of sight, and this is how it sounds on the Comica microphone system. Hopefully it sounds good. So anyways, now I'm gonna try not to talk too much into the microphone. Anyways, now I'm gonna go behind some buildings and some trees. All right, now I'm on around 400 feet away, and 400 feet away behind two houses and some trees. And this is how it sounds on the Comica microphone system. And I'm walking back, and this would be around 300 feet away behind a house and some trees. And gonna be coming back now because it is getting definitely colder. Whew. All right, I'm back again at around 100 feet and just heading back here. So anyways, hopefully this sounded good. And now I just wanted to try out this the little wind puffy things, which I'm gonna call them dead mouse, because dead cat is what you call the big puffy things for the the bigger shotgun microphones. And since this is a little tiny one like a mouse, I'll call it a dead mouse. Anyways, this one actually comes with the Comica kit for both microphones, and these are actually really cool because they have these little straps that you can kind of pull and tighten, so they'll actually go over pretty much any lavalier microphone system that you have. So it's kind of nice that they included it in the kit. And anyways, this is how it sounds on in the wind now. Now of course the wind has kind of slowed down a little bit. It's not as crazy, but I don't know, hopefully you guys can hear the difference. I know in general these things, they help a lot, like when there's a really strong gust of wind. The little foam protector, it will work up to a certain wind strength basically, but past that you start hearing the wind hitting the foam. These little things, you can pretty much be out in a hurricane and you're not going to hear any of that wind noise. So I'm going to try to stay quiet so you guys can hear it. Now the wind's really picking up. Oh, it's cold. I know I've said it a bunch of times now, but I don't handle cold very well. So. Anyways, this is how it sounds, so hopefully it works. It should be working. All right, so maybe now let's look at the actual differences and kind of the way that they're built. Here's two of the basically transmitters. So here's the one from Comica, Saramonic, and when you look at it again, they're very similar in size and all that stuff. Like I was saying before, the Saramonics feel a bit heavier, and I think it's because of the fact that this one requires basically AA batteries, which this system doesn't. The Comica actually has built-in batteries, so as you'll notice there's no battery compartment anywhere that you basically have to access, whereas Saramonic here on the side, it has the battery compartment. It's very easy to get to. Pull it out like this and you put your batteries in there, and you can put the rechargeable batteries, you can put regular AA batteries. But that's one of the reasons I think why also the bottom is a little bit thicker than the Comica ones. But also it's just, like I was saying, it's just overall feels a bit heavier. So right off the bat, that's the biggest difference, is these ones have, both the transmitters and the receivers have built-in batteries, and you can actually charge these or power them actually while you're on location using a micro USB connection that's here on the bottom. And that's kind of, well, depends. For some of you guys, that might be a plus. For some other people out there, might be a negative thing. You know, some people I know prefer to just be able to put in AA batteries. Let's say if you're in some remote location or somewhere where you don't have access to, you know, let's say to a USB cable or something, then usually you can find AA batteries that you can buy and throw it in there if you run out of power. At the same time, I would say this day and age, of so many camera accessories, even cameras themselves, are able to be powered off of a USB connection, that I would say it's good to buy like a good portable USB battery bank, so that you can connect your devices, like for example in this case the transmitters and the receivers, so you can charge these on location, or even power them if you run out of juice in this one in the middle of the shoot. And there's different power banks that I use that I'll list them in the description of the video if you guys are interested. But anyways, getting back to the transmitters, other than that, you'll see both of them, they have a display up here. And the displays are very similar, the difference being this one's a bit kind of a bluish looking color, this one's kind of more orange. But otherwise, visibility wise and all that stuff, they're very similar. And yeah, and they offer the kind of the basic information. So they show you kind of your battery power. They show you what channel you're on, what frequencies, things like that, if you're locked and all that stuff. So the cool thing about these, right away I'll tell you, is that both of them offer a simple mute button, and you'll just notice the screen and the button layouts are identical. So both of them offer a mute button, which is also doubles as the power button when you hold it for longer. So it's kind of nice to be able to, let's say if you don't need to record audio, or you want to cut out the audio from let's say your talent is talking in between takes, you can just quickly press the power/mute button and you'll mute out the signal. You also have here a set button, and you have plus and minus, and that's going to be used to kind of, these three buttons, the set and plus and minus, are going to be used on both of these systems to navigate the menus. And menus are very straightforward. You can change things like frequency, channels, you can adjust the volume and things like that. So that's pretty much the front of both of these units. From the top here, you'll notice that they all are also very similar in the sense that they have here the microphone connections, which is threaded, so it's good because both of the microphones that are supplied with these are threaded, so you can nicely attach these, even though they're 3.5 millimeter jacks. Because they're threaded, they're not going to detach on you by accident. Now the only other difference is that the Comica one has an IR, actually like a big here port, whereas the Saramonics, they have an IR here, which kind of doubles also as the audio light. So that's kind of where the IR signal is. So that's really the only difference. But they will both connect, through IR. And what this is basically helpful is that, let's say if you want to quickly sync your transmitters to your receivers, then you would just use the IR signal, and they both have very easy functions to do that. So you can, very quickly change the frequency of, let's say, your transmitters to be the same as your receiver. Like I said, on the side here, you have one has the battery compartment, the other one doesn't. The back is where it's a little bit different. You'll notice that the Comica ones have a 1/4-20 holder on the back, so you can attach it to your standard 1/4-20 magic arms, ball mounts, things like that. The Saramonic one doesn't have any of these attachments. This one is really the only way you can attach it is using this little clip, this belt clip. The belt clips are pretty much identical on both of these. They're nice and sturdy, kind of industry standard, and they work well. You can see this one also has that. What Saramonic does offer though is this little kind of adapter. Now the only thing is, this thing, there's only one of these included in the kit, so you can't really use it on both of the receivers or transmitters. And this is kind of how you would use it. You just slide it from the top, and this kind of clicks in here, and you notice that now your belt attachment also doubles as a cold shoe mount. So it has a cold shoe mount here attachment, and it has a 1/4-20 hole pre-drilled. Antennas are pretty much identical. Both of the antennas feel nice and sturdy, so it doesn't feel like they're gonna break on you. In terms of kind of navigating through the menu and stuff, they're literally identical. The menu systems are slightly differently laid out, but they're minor kind of cosmetic differences. But the kind of functionality that the menus offer and how you navigate through them, they're equally good on both of these units. So there's really no difference there, I would say, in my opinion. So again, like I was saying, build quality and size and everything is very similar. Saramonic being a little bit heavier than the Comica, and that's again because of the battery compartment that you have here, which is identical to the transmitters. Now the front, you'll notice exact same display and the same kind of menu button kind of layout. So let me power both of these on. There we have it, and again you just have a power button set and a plus and minus to navigate the menus. On the top here again you'll notice that the same kind of lights as on the transmitter. One is for power, the other one is for IR, basically signal. But again with the addition that the Comica one has actually a dedicated IR port there, whereas on the Saramonic this basically light is also acts as an IR port. Both of these on the top have, on the left side they have the audio output that you would connect to your camera, and on the left side there they have headphone jacks. And that's nice because that means that with both of these units, if you're using them with, let's say, with like a DSLM type of camera that has a microphone connection but doesn't necessarily have a headphone connection, so you can actually monitor your audio. Well, with these audio systems, you don't have to worry about that because you can monitor directly from the receiver. So that's a really cool kind of function. On the back, they're similar, with again being this one slight difference being that the Saramonic only has the belt clip, whereas the Comica has the belt clip and also has the 1/4-20 holder pre-drilled. The way I would usually use it is I would basically take when it comes to Saramonic, I would use that little adapter, just slide it here in the back, and once it's in there I would just usually kind of leave it like this, and this way it attaches to the cold shoe mount on top of my DSLR, and that's kind of how I would mount this Saramonic receiver, whereas the transmitters I would just usually attach them using the belt clip. On the bottom, the Saramonic doesn't really have anything, and the Comica again has that micro USB connection for charging and powering the unit. So again, not a big difference between these two, aside from like I said, the fact that one has is a little bit bigger and heavier, and it doesn't have a 1/4-20 hole pre-drilled. The functionality that I like with both of them is that they both of the receivers will allow you to scan the area that you're in. So you do a quick little kind of channel scan, and it's going to look through all the different radio frequencies that might be, let's say, Wi-Fi signal and things like that, and it's going to pick the channel that has the least amount of interference. And then, so that's kind of how I would do basically work whenever I work with both of these systems. Is first I would turn on my transmitter, I would scan the frequencies in the area that I was planning on filming, and once the scanner finished, it kind of suggested the best frequency or the best channel, and then I would use the IR transmitter here on the top on both of these to basically sync my transmitters to the receiver channel frequency. As far as what else is included in these, well, both of the kits come with two of these lavalier microphones. Here's the one here on the left is from Comica, or the one on the right is from Saramonic. And as you'll notice, there's not a big difference in there. I mean, the clips are almost identical, I would say. The microphones are very similar. They have this little kind of foam protection here. Both of the systems also provide the 3.5mm but threaded connections, so that's really nice because again you can thread this to your transmitter and make sure that this plug doesn't accidentally unplug on you. The Comica ones though have like a metal thread here, so it's a little bit maybe more sturdy versus the one that's here from Saramonic. The little thread is actually like a little plastic basically nab. As far as the cables on the receiver side, both of the systems come with very similar cables. So again, this is the 3.5mm cable from Saramonic, and as you notice, it's just the difference being is that this one's coiled, and it also has just a standard 3.5mm jack on one end, and here this side that you would connect to the receiver is again threaded, with the difference being that the Comica one is just a regular cable, it's not coiled, but the threading up here is again, it's nicer, it's metal. But again, otherwise they're very similar. Also, maybe I would say, well, this one is from Saramonic is a little bit longer because again it has the coil, so it can extend further. They also provide you another cable, which is a XLR 3-pin connection. So it's kind of nice if you're working with like a professional kind of production camera. You can actually connect your wireless labs that way. and again, this end is threaded for the receiver, and same kind of thing from Comica. Again, three pin, you know, audio cable, and then the end here is threaded. Now here's a few more things that the Comica, you know, kit actually includes that doesn't come basically included in the Saramonic kit. First is well, because you don't really need it with the Saramonics, is the micro USB cables. So there's 2 of these for, again, charging or powering your units. And Saramonic, like I said, doesn't need it because it uses AA batteries. Another thing they provide you is 3 of these quarter 20 basically screws on one end, and then a cold shoe mounts on the other. And this is cool because whether it's your transmitter or your receiver, let's say that you want to mount let's say a cold shoe mount, well, you can use these. And then again, there's 3 of these, so you would basically just thread it here in the back of the receiver or the transmitter. Let's say like this, you would attach it, and then you would put the cold shoe mount and you can slide it. And this is kind of how I actually mounted this receiver on top of my camera when I was doing the tests. Again, you just kind of put it in there like this, and you slide it, and it will stay nice and firm and securely on top of your camera. Another thing that Saramonic doesn't include that Comica does provide are these little furry things that will protect your microphones from really excessive wind. So these come in really handy, and these will actually work with pretty much any lav microphone. So let's say if you decide later on to buy another lav microphone for your system, well, you can still use these because they come with this little cord and this little here strap. So you can kind of wrap it around and it will stay nice and secure on top of your microphone. Here's something else that you're gonna get with the Comica kit. It actually comes with this nice hard shell kind of, and then inside has its foam padded case with a handle, and it's a very nice sturdy case. And when you open it up, you can easily this way transport your whole kit because everything fits nicely up here, along with the these are basically the manual, warranty card, all that stuff. But as you can see, everything kind of nicely and neatly is kind of fits in here, is snug, won't fly around, and is basically protected when you're traveling with this stuff. So it's definitely handy to have. The Saramonic kit, on the other hand, comes in this cardboard box. That's basically how it's shipped. Well, it's actually shipped, has its own packaging, but once you take off the packaging, inside here you have this cardboard bags. I think you could kind of use it to, at least I'm using it for transporting it, because it is a sturdy cardboard box and actually has these Velcro here, as you see, so it allows you to kind of easily close it and open it again. But obviously, at the same time, it's not gonna provide as much protection as the hard case that is included with the Comica kit. So overall, which kit I think is the better deal? I would say they're very close. It really comes down to maybe your preference of, like I said, one system uses the AA batteries, the other one uses the built-in, rechargeable batteries. Some people might have a preference to one over the other. To me, I think, again, they're very, very similar. They're both equally good, as you see, when it comes to the performance, the kind of quality of the microphones and everything like that. Functionality-wise, they're identical. I would just say just the fact that Comica includes a few little extra things like the hard shell case that's going to protect your kit nicely when you're traveling. It also includes those little fluffy, dead mouse, kind of the wind protection for really excessive wind situations. So that's nice. Plus the 3 quarter 20 to cold shoe mount adapters. It's just, again, they just provide you with a few extra things. But really, at the same time, if you really think that the sound quality of one system versus the other is really big, in your opinion, then let me know in the comment section below. Tell me, why you would prefer one, let's say one system over the other, or whether you agree with me or not. That maybe, at the end of the day, I think the Comica kit is slightly better. Not so much in terms of quality of sound, but just in terms of what the actual kit offers. But again, at the same time, you have to take into consideration the current prices of each of the kits and things like that. So if you guys want to actually see, because the prices constantly change, and that's one of the reasons why I don't want to mention prices in my videos. So if you want to see the latest prices and what kind of deals you can get on each of these systems, then as always, just follow the links in the description of this video. And if you like this video, make sure to click thumbs up, share it, comment below, let me know why you liked it, or even why you didn't like it. and also what other videos you guys would like to see from me. And that's it. My name is Tom Antos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.